My life felt like a perfect picture. A loving wife, Sarah, 2 amazing kids, a nice house in the suburbs. You know the drill. We had our ups and downs like any couple, but I thought we were solid. I worked long hours as a software developer to provide for us, and Sarah was a stay-at-home mom. It seemed ideal, but then the cracks started to show. It began subtly. Sarah started going out more with her friends, staying out later. She became distant, always on her phone, smiling at texts, but brushing me off when I asked who it was. The classic signs were all there, but I was in denial. I didn't want to believe my Sarah, the woman I'd built a life with, could betray me. The final nail in the coffin was when I came home early from a business trip to surprise the kids. I walked in and heard noises from our bedroom. My heart pounded in my chest. I opened the door to find her with another man. My world shattered in that instant. The confrontation was a blur of shouting and tears, mostly mine. She wasn't even sorry. She was angry. She got caught. That night, she packed a bag and left, but not before telling me she was taking the kids and that I'd be hearing from her lawyer. I was devastated, not just by the betrayal, but by the threat of losing my children. They were my everything. A week later, I was served with divorce papers. It was worse than I imagined. Sarah was demanding full custody, the house, and an outrageous amount of alimony and child support. Her petition was filled with lies. She painted me as an absentee husband and father, someone who cared more about work than his family. She even claimed I had an anger problem, twisting my heartbroken reaction to her affair into something monstrous. I felt helpless. The legal system often favors mothers, and her lies were convincing on paper. I knew I was in for the fight of my life, and I couldn't afford to lose. My kid's future was at stake. I hired the best family law attorney I could find. His name was Mr. Thompson, a sharp, no-nonsense guy who'd seen it all. I laid everything out for him: the affair, her lies, my fear of losing my kids. He listened patiently and then said, "The truth is your best weapon, but we need proof to make it a canon." He told me that family court judges are primarily concerned with the well-being of the children. We had to prove that I was the more stable, reliable, and dedicated parent, and that her behavior was detrimental to them. He advised me to start documenting everything, every interaction, every text, every time she missed a scheduled call with the kids. He also suggested I hire a private investigator. It felt extreme, but Mr. Thompson insisted it was necessary to counter her fabrications. So I did. The PI was a professional named Dave. He started tailing Sarah, and what he uncovered was just shocking. She wasn't just having a casual affair. She was living a completely different life. She was out partying almost every night, leaving the kids with her new boyfriend while she went clubbing until the early hours of the morning. Dave got photos and videos of her stumbling out of bars, clearly intoxicated. He even got evidence that her boyfriend was a heavy drinker with a questionable past, something she had conveniently omitted. While she was painting herself as the perfect mother in court documents, in reality, she was neglecting our children for her new, carefree lifestyle. Meanwhile, I focused on being the best dad I could be. I adjusted my work schedule to be home with the kids as much as possible. I cooked them dinner every night, helped with homework, read bedtime stories, all the things I'd always done, but now with a renewed purpose. I documented it all. I took pictures of our family dinners, our weekend trips to the park, our homework sessions. I kept a detailed log of every single thing. My parents and friends rallied around me, providing statements about my character and my dedication as a father. I was building an arsenal of truth, piece by piece, while she was building a fortress of lies. The weeks leading up to our first court date were agonizing. Sarah's lawyer was aggressive, sending demand after demand. Sarah herself would send me taunting text messages, saying things like, "Enjoy the kids while you can, and the judge will see right through you." She was so confident in her deception. Little did she know, every single one of those texts was being saved and forwarded to Mr. Thompson. Her arrogance was becoming her own undoing. I held my tongue, followed my lawyer's advice to a T, and just focused on my kids, shielding them from the ugliness as best I could. Finally, the day of the hearing arrived. My stomach was in knots. I walked into the courtroom and saw Sarah sitting with her lawyer, looking smug and confident. She shot me a look of pure disdain. Her lawyer started first, painting a picture of me as a workaholic, emotionally distant husband who had driven his poor wife into the arms of another man. He presented her as a devoted mother who only wanted to protect her children. She even put on a little show, dabbing at her eyes with a tissue when her lawyer described her suffering. It was sickening to watch. I just sat there, clenching my fists under the table, waiting for our turn. Then, it was Mr. Thompson's turn to speak. He stood up, calm and collected, and began to dismantle her case, piece by piece. He started with my documented log of parental involvement in meals, the homework, the doctor's appointments she'd missed. Then he presented the character statements from our friends, my family, and even our kids' teachers, all attesting to my active role in their lives. Sarah's smug expression started to waver, but the real fireworks started when Mr. Thompson brought up the private investigator's report. He presented the judge with a thick binder. "Your Honor," he said, "while my client was at home caring for his children, Miss Smith was otherwise engaged." He showed the judge the photographs. Sarah, stumbling drunk out of a club at 3 a.m. Sarah, leaving the children with her new boyfriend for hours on end. He played a time-stamped video of her at a bar on a night she was supposed to be having a video call with our daughter. The color drained from Sarah's face. Her lawyer was shuffling papers, completely blindsided. Mr. Thompson then presented her boyfriend's record, which included a couple of public intoxication charges. Finally, he brought up the text messages she had sent me, the taunts, the threats. The judge's face grew colder and harder with each piece of evidence. The fortress of lies Sarah had built came crashing down in a matter of minutes. The judge's ruling was swift and decisive. She looked directly at Sarah and spoke in a tone that left no room for argument. She called her behavior deplorable and her attempts to alienate the children from their father a disgrace. She awarded me primary physical custody of our children. Sarah was granted limited, supervised visitation, contingent on her completing a parenting course and undergoing counseling. The alimony she demanded was thrown out completely. I felt a wave of relief so immense it almost brought me to my knees. I had won. My kids were safe with me. As we left the courtroom, Sarah tried to approach me, her face a mask of fury and disbelief. I just looked at her, shook my head, and walked away without a word, holding my lawyer's hand in a grateful shake. The fight was over. Now, my new life with my kids could finally begin. Thanks for listening to my story. If you've been through something similar, know that the truth is powerful. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content.